Hi there, this is David and welcome to my ranking of the job classes in Final Fantasy III Pixel Remastered. This game is kind of an unknown one in the series, but it's still a gem, and because of the job class system it has tons of replay value, and the remaster has definitely breathed new life into this old classic. The jobs and their abilities are all different depending on which version you play, but I truly do feel like the Pixel Remastered version will become the new standard. So, I've decided to rank all 21 jobs based upon their overall usefulness and power level throughout the course of the game. So, let's go ahead and get started. Number 21, the Scholar. Personally, I like the idea of the job, but its utility is just so limited. You get a scanning ability which is redundant the second that you get it, and yeah, Alchemy will double the attack power of items, but why wouldn't you just make a black mage instead? Use it for the one battle that you need to, then dump him like the trash that he is. Number 20, the Evoker. Today's summons have a reputation for being extremely overpowered, but it wasn't always that way. Summons work differently here. You only get one spell per level, and then what they do is random. I loathe that. Upon summoning, you have a 50-50 chance of your monster helping your party out in some way, or hurting your enemies. In the heat of battle, I don't need a 50-50 chance. I need the spell to do what I want it to do. Number 19, the Geomancer. These guys are nice in Final Fantasy V, but not so much here. The terrain skills are only as useful as the area that you're fighting in, so they're good for some free black magic damage, but honestly, you're just better off with a black mage so you can exploit elemental weaknesses and target who you want. Number 18, the Dragoon. The Dragoon here is pretty much just a glorified knight along with their jump command. You have to remember that we know now what these jobs do, but back when, they were all new, and Square thought that it would be a good idea to teach us how to use them via boss fights. And just like the Scholar, he's useful for exactly one boss fight, though the Dragoon is higher on the list because if you do want to use him in battle, he's not absolutely terrible. Number 17, the Ranger. After playing the Hunter in Final Fantasy V, I thought that the Ranger would actually be pretty powerful, but different game, different powers. Yeah, they have access to elemental arrows, and they can attack from the back row, but ultimately their physical damage isn't all that hot. However, they can clear out randoms with the best of them with their Barrage ability, hitting 4 enemies at random for half damage. Number 16, the Bard. These spoony singers are surprisingly powerful with their harp dealing comparable damage to a melee class, and from the back row. Eventually they'll gain access to more songs than just healing too, so they can be pretty useful and surprisingly powerful, though you're better off with just having a white mage. Number 15, the Conjurer. This is basically the Evoker class, with the exact same summons, but more spell slots and more power. But it comes so late in the game that it's hardly useful at all. At least they got rid of the white magic part of the summons, so now they only deal damage, but still, what's the point? Number 14, the Warrior. Some of you might be wondering why your first fighter is so low on this list. Well, it's because these are immediately replaced by the Knight at the second crystal, while all the other jobs from the first crystal can last up until you leave the floating continent. White and black mages can even last until the end of the game, while red mages and monks can last until the third crystal, but this guy's replaced like an hour after you get him. Number 13, the Red Mage. The Red Mage is useful for the entirety of the floating continent, effectively replacing the white and black mages, and helping out as a capable fighter too. But the problem is that they become completely useless the second that you leave there. They only receive about half the charges of the dedicated mages, and they can only learn up to a certain amount of magics, so enjoy them while you can, because they won't last all that long. Number 12, the Monk. These guys are going to be your strongest physical job class for quite a bit of time. Add to that they're super cheap and you have a winning combination. However, they are definite glass cannons, so watch over them closely until you can upgrade them to the Black Belt. Number 11, the Knight. This is a direct upgrade from the Warrior and gotten at the second crystal, and honestly, you can really use him right up until the end of the game. His equipment selection is second to none, and like the Paladin Cecil, he can cover injured allies too. I just kinda wish that he had white magic in this version. Number 10, the Dark Knight. The Dark Knight gets rid of those annoying splitting enemies with ease, but there are better ways to deal with them too, like just running the hell away with a thief or blasting the crap out of them with black magic. Half the time that you have the job, you don't even have the equipment for it. The only saving grace is that their Bladeblitz ability hits all enemies on the screen for physical damage, and it doesn't hurt them in the process either, so they are nice for some random encounters. Number 9, the Black Belt. Here is the evolution of the Monk job, but with Yang's abilities to boot. He has Boost to boost your attack power, and Kick to hit all enemies with physical damage. He's great for the mid-game, but peters out as the enemies get stronger towards the end. He just needs a little bit more survivability. Number 8, the Viking. Okay, this guy's slow as shit and can't hit the broadside of a barn, and he has a horrible weapon selection, so why is he so high up? Well, his draw attack skill is ridiculous. Put this bitch in the back row with 2 shields, then make him taunt. He'll get hit for like 1 damage, where the rest of your party blows them all away to smithereens. His only weakness is multi-targeting attacks and magic, but he does make a lot of boss fights complete cakewalks. Number 7, the Black Mage. The classic Black Mage is exactly what you think it is, with access to all the basic elemental magic, in addition to status spells and debuffs. He is a classic, and he has survivability issues, but they're still seriously useful to have around. More than likely, you'll use him from the beginning up until he's replaced towards the end of the game with the Magus. Number 6, the White Mage. Get used to seeing him because they're essentially a mainstay in your party. I mean, you've got to be healed, there's just no getting around it. Thankfully though, they're given an early game offensive spell with Arrow, so they're a bit more versatile, and they have access to the spellcasting staves too. Your White Mage is not a wasted slot, because they can help out on the offense too. Number 5, the Magus. The Magus job is basically the topped out version of the Black Mage class, able to use high level black magic spells along with tons of charges. He can pretty much spam powerful level 3 spells in every single battle without a problem, and it's fantastic. Number 4, the Thief. This job gets the reward for most improvement. Stealing still sucks ass, so don't worry about that, but their real utility comes out when the main gouge becomes available in a Myrrh. Then they can attack tons of times for a shit ton of damage while dodging incoming attacks. Then, later on when those knives start to peter out, they get the Orichalcum knife, which drains HP with every attack and really helps them out with their survivability and allows them to tank with the best of them. But let's not forget that they can also run 100% of the time from annoying encounters, like those splitting enemies. Number 3, the Devout. This is the long-awaited upgrade of the staple White Mage. You're now able to use all levels of spells and have a ton of charges along with that. As the enemies get harder and harder in the final dungeons, the Devout is essential for your survival. Number 2, the Sage. This is the ultimate spellcasting class, able to learn all black, white, and summon magic, essentially rendering the other classes mostly obsolete. However, they don't get as many spell charges as the more dedicated casters, but their versatility more than makes up for it. It's just a shame that you have to wait till literally the end of the game to get them. And number 1, the Ninja. Ninjas can equip all different sorts of weapons, and they're the only class with a throw ability, which allows you to chuck those Shurikens straight between the eyes of your enemies to deal massive damage. In fact, I would go so far as to say that if you don't have a ninja in your final party, you're pretty much doomed from the start. If the Sage is the ultimate magical class, this is the ultimate physical class. Well, that's it for ranking the jobs of Final Fantasy III Pixel Remastered. How would you rank the jobs? Do you agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video and want to do here on the channel, please consider supporting me on Patreon, heading on over to Twitch for some streaming fun, or joining the Discord to chat and hang out. The links to them can be found in the video description. This has been David, and if you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good day.